Hello ladies and gentlemen, Vagran Gaming, and this is a quick Huttball match. I originally wasn't going to upload this one, but I decided to for two reasons. One was that there's a one-on-one scenario that I get into with another commando that I thought might be helpful to some people, and two, even counting one of the respawns, it's only about 10 minutes, so it's a pretty short match, and I figured it wouldn't be, well, it's not that it wouldn't be a problem, like, because normally I edit out respawning just because you don't really need to see me standing behind a gate, but this time it's a short match, and I thought that the commando duel might be useful to some people, so I decided to include it mostly for that reason. And I've said over and over again, I'm not a duelist. I tend not to do very well in that, but the person that I was fighting made some mistakes, and they're mistakes that I've probably made a million times, so it's not that they're a bad player or anything like that, but it's mostly because there's just some things that some people might not be aware of, and I figured this is a good time as any to highlight them. And if you're playing commando, or even, while it's mostly beneficial if you play a commando, if you've ever been in a scenario where a commando's attacking you, it's just some things to look out for that might be helpful to you. So far I'm just kind of goofing off. This guy had his shield up, and I should have taken a look at his buff tray. I wound up not, and I was expecting him to get a big heal, so I just started just goofing off, mostly shooting grab rounds at him. Then this, I can't tell if it's an assassin or a shadow, they ran in, and I think between the two of us we'll have him. Now this is one mistake he made. I was standing stationary, and he put the electro net on me. Now, while electronet can stop someone from using their escapes, as far as the damage goes, if they're just standing still, the electronet basically doesn't do anything. Now, if it's, say for example, I was a sorcerer, and he wanted to keep me from using my bubble, then yeah, that's absolutely a perfect time to use that. But since we were, for the most part, just shooting at each other, it was kind of a waste. And that's a mistake that I've even made a couple of times, where, I mean, it might do a little bit of damage, but the big effect from electronet is if you hit somebody and they keep moving, because then they get a stacking dot, so to speak. So I basically, quote-unquote, lucked out there. My hold the line was down, and I just walked across a fire pit, which is pretty dangerous, but no one was there to stop me, so I was able to just coast right through. I was going to try to knock that assassin shadow off. He beat me to it, which is fine. I grabbed the health pot, and I was going to go on my merry way, but then I saw one of my teammates with a net on him, and I figured, oh, I'll try to help him out, but it was far too late. So one of the first things he did was he put up his reflect, so I just stopped shooting. It doesn't last super long, so I just kind of backed off. The second thing, he hit his knockback, and I wasn't really even casting anything, so that was kind of a wasted move. I'll use my knockback sometimes if I see someone's about to cast something and I don't have an interrupt handy. I've absolutely done that. And he hit me with a concussion round, and I just waited it out. I wasn't too worried about using my stunbreaker, mostly because I didn't think he'd get that much healing off, and I mean, he really did. So because he's moving, then I used my electronet, and I started to chase him a bit, and then I saw his health getting really low, so I just kind of stood there and watched. And the net did the work for me. And that was, for the most part, the exchange that I wanted to highlight. So again, like, if you're in like a DPS race, if you're, you know, commando on commando, Arsenal Merc versus Arsenal Merc, whatever, and you're just shooting at each other, if your opponent is for the most part standing still, your electronet isn't, it has better uses. And I could be wrong, and if I'm mistaken, by all means, hit me up in the comments and let me know. I would love to hear it. But if you're really looking to do damage, you want to hit it on someone that's moving. So for example, if there's a power tech chasing me and I'm trying to kite and deal damage while he's attacking me, I'll absolutely throw the net on him, because every step he takes, that it's the damage will start to tick higher and higher. And here I'm basically getting lit up by multiple people. I was able to hit my reflective, bounce most of the damage back. And that was another thing, is that commando, the colonel there in the corner, I threw the reflect up, and he just kept firing away, which means pretty much all that damage was just going to heal me to get bounced back to him, which partially helped me to have all the health I needed to stay alive to help get that point. Because at first I was just kind of ignoring everybody trying to stay open for the pass. Fortunately, the ball carrier was able to work out how to get up there on his own. Didn't really much need my help, at least not at that part. But then after the fact, he saw it. He deemed it necessary to throw the pass to me, and then I just, I switched focus from trying to do damage to getting over the goal line. And it worked out. I was able to just make it before I was cut to pieces. So that's just a couple of tips and suggestions as far as that was sloppy. As far as interactions with other Arsenal mercs, just barely got that one through the knockback. I've seen some people use hold the line immediately, which might have been the way to go. The reason why I waited is I hope to have hold the line available for the first fire pit so I can try to get across without worrying about being knocked away. And if I get stunned, I'll absolutely use my stun breaker if I'm carrying the ball past it. But what I didn't notice at the time was there's a shadow there, and this is going to get right down to the wire. Bang! That was a fun pass. It was like right on the wire, and that should be about it any second. There we go. So that was just a couple of tips for, when you might or might not want to use your net and stuff like that. It's just a quick 10-minute match, or even less than that, and I hope it was helpful to some of you. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you next time.